Speaking of Timmins is proud to present our 2014 Candidates for Council interview series. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the next episode in our Meet the Candidates series. Today is Logan McMeekin from candidate from Ward 5. Logan, welcome to Speaking of Timmins.
Thanks, and thanks for having me.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, your background, and what led you to run for council in 2014?
Yeah, sure. I'm originally from Northern Ontario, and like a lot of people, when I was done high school, I moved away to study post-secondary. So I studied audiology, and I got my doctorate degree in that. And then my husband and I actually lived abroad for a number of years, for 3 years. And when it was time to start a family, we decided to head back to our roots. This is where all our family's from. So Timmins has a lot to offer, as you know, most people who are living here would know that in terms of the outdoor activities, the hunting, the fishing. I have 3 young children, so that's part of my job. My other job is I do work part-time as an audiologist. And I decided to run for council. Well, a couple things brought that about, and I've always believed that you can really affect change at the municipal level of politics. And I have always, followed things, but after I did, everyone complains about taxes and talks about what we can do to bring down the property taxes for people. And I started looking into that and comparing other communities. And when I did my deputation to City Council, I was basically told that I had presented a problem but no solution by one of the councillors, and that basically solidified it for me. And I've been working on things ever since and decided that it was I had nothing to lose by throwing my hat in and running for council.
What do you believe should be the top 2 or 3 priorities for the new council?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it'll be a surprise to anyone that I'm going to for sure say that property taxes has to be a priority for council. At a minimum, I think we need to put a halt on the tax rate increases that people are paying, but more importantly, I think we need to really proactively find ways to lessen the tax burden that many residents are experiencing. It's a problem because there's the MPAC assessments as well that are going on, and that's a problem that we're facing in Timmins with the MPAC assessments, because many homes are basically overassessed, and then we have, pretty sure it's 63% of the homes in Timmins are assessed under $150,000. So that leaves a big discrepancy, and it leaves some residents to carry the tax burdens. So assessments are an issue that collectively we need to become a group and lobby about that. But also, the city hasn't been doing enough to offset the increases that homeowners have had with their assessment. So other communities such as Cochrane, they've looked at that. They've looked at what the average assessments are going up, and the city has tried to offset the tax rate accordingly. So basically, I think that needs to be a priority. Council needs to think of the taxpayers as another, basically part of the budget, part of the group that can't afford to keep paying. Just like, we have the firefighters, all those things that are fixed. Taxpayers need to have a voice, and they need to be part of that budget process. So that would be one priority. The second priority would be, I'd have to probably say infrastructure, and I don't think anyone would argue with that, the state of our roads. I really want to get in there, discuss with department heads, see what's going on. So I've had numerous emails from residents emailing me pictures of some of the road works that is being done. It's not acceptable, the state of our roads, that state they're in right now. And I don't have a quick answer to this, but I really think that we need to be certain that the tax dollars are being maximized when it comes to road repairs, whether we need to lobby upper government a little bit more so that they should be more generous with us to continue to put pressure on them. Geographically, we do have a lot of roads to maintain, but it really needs to be a priority, the failing infrastructure that we're seeing in Timmins right now. So probably taxes and infrastructure would be the top 2 things that I'd be wanting to look at.
If elected, what priority would you like to see addressed in Ward 5 specifically?
Yeah, the Daily Press asked us this question as well. I'm sure everyone's seen that. It was in the press yesterday. And, part of the answer to this question, I feel like I'm not a big fan of the warrant system as it's set up right now. And I think that The biggest issue that Timmins residents basically are facing, that's going to affect everyone over the next 5 years, or next 4 years, comes back to taxes again, and the issue of paying off the debt that we're going to have in the sewage treatment project without putting more tax burden on the taxpayers of this city, and that definitely affects Ward 5. It obviously affects everyone. We need to pay off this debt without putting a halt on economic growth and development. So that's really going to be a challenge, I think, for the next council and mayor, and it's going to take a lot of hard work in order to keep the taxpayers not feeling the burden of these over expenditures.
Many candidates and taxpayers in this campaign have spoken about this being an election of change. What changes would you like to see on council and at City Hall?
Yeah, this election, definitely has been described by many as an election of change. I think that sums it up pretty good. And I think the biggest change we need to see is transparency to the taxpayers. It just isn't there anymore. No one has trust in our council and administration. It's a must. We have to be more transparent. We need new ideas. We need a council that's going to be proactive in finding ways to grow our city and to grow our tax base to lessen the tax burden on the taxpayers. So I think, we need to find ways to regain the trust of the residents and taxpayers of the city. So that's the biggest change that I would like to see, is a better working relationship.
Ward 5 includes the downtown core, and many business people operating in that part of town are wondering what the new council will try to do to increase the amount of traffic in the downtown core.
Yeah, I've had this question a lot too on people emailing my Facebook page or emailing my email address or even calling me at home about this one. And this is a hard one, I find, because a lot of people say that if we had more parking, it would attract more people to shop downtown and businesses to come downtown. But then you look at the other side of the coin, and the rent is so high and the taxes are so high downtown. So it's kind of a case of chicken or the egg, which comes first. And I think that we need to look at other ways that we could help out the businesses, maybe some incentives to get new businesses to open up. I think parking is an issue. I'm not going to deny that parking doesn't need to be addressed, but I do think we do need to look at a more permanent solution for that, and that will most likely be through a private investor. To me, when you go to other, smaller communities and they have these really neat downtown areas that are booming, I would love to see that in our downtown, especially, to me, we should already have the people to support that. Downtown right now, there's a lot of businesses that are more service-based, that are that would be able to support, nicer cafes, pubs, or unique little restaurants. So maybe just reaching out to other communities, like somewhere like Rouen that has a really, booming downtown, seeing what they're doing differently. And I don't think I have an answer for that, but I think we just need to really, turn over every stone and try to figure out how we can help businesses and also, help them with parking as well. So I think it's a mix of both.
What 3 living individuals that you have never met would you like to go out for dinner with?
3.
Yep.
Well, the first one, anyone who knows me would say Ellen DeGeneres. I love her. She's funny, she's kind, she's brave, she's paved the way for so many different things. I'd also would have to pick a country music artist because I am a big country music fan. So I'd probably pick someone like Shania Twain. And the third, just for a bit of history, I'd probably, because I'd love to get into Buckingham Palace, I'd pick the Queen. So those would be my 3.
What book should every person read in their lifetime?
To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee.
What has been your favorite travel destination?
Hands down, Cinque Terre in Italy. I tell everyone who travels that they have to go to this place. It's stunning. It's 5 villages built into the rock, and you can walk the 14-kilometer trail along the coast. It's just simply breathtaking.
What 1 or 2 items would people be surprised to see on your bucket list?
Well, I have a marathon on my bucket list because I am a runner, but people would probably be surprised to see that I have on my bucket list a yoga or a meditation retreat, which is the complete opposite, but that's on my bucket list to do.
Well, that does it for this edition of the 2014 Speaking of Timmins Candidate Interview Series. My name is Frank Rock, and this is Speaking of Timmins.